I was driving in my car, and this is something that I think about a lot. It's something that I think about a lot, and I'm not sure if I think about it more than other people, but I know that I think about it a lot. And I feel like I have such a weird, arguably toxic relationship with nostalgia. I'm not sure. It's like a drug. It can be like a drug for me, and I can't actually decipher why. A form of indulgence for me is literally going back in time, but through music, mostly. This mostly applies to music. It can be other things, but it's mainly music for me. I'll just like send myself back in time listening to music that I listened to growing up or like during a certain period of my life. I will literally go on Spotify and play like 2000s hits, 2010 hits, and I'm like, why was music so much better? Like, why do I feel like music was so much better in 2010? Is that true? I don't know, but it's the feeling that I get when I like go back and listen to these things. And the weirdest fucking part about it to me, like I think this is the thing that could like possibly keep me up at night, is the fact that like I go back in time and I am listening to these old songs and I can find myself like on the brink of euphoria and then 5 minutes later just like wallowing in despair, you know what I mean? But what makes no sense to me is the fact that nothing like gives me more of a feeling of these were the good old days. But if I actually go back, if I actually like time travel in my head and put myself in the time of the thing that I am feeling so fondly about, they weren't the good old days. Like, they just weren't. It's more likely than not that it was actually not a good time. It's really bothering me. It's bothering me a lot. It's such an interesting feeling. I feel like nostalgia is one of the things that I feel extremely deeply. I feel it affecting me on a molecular fucking level when I am going back in time and like listening to these old songs or like listening to music that used to bring me joy. Depending though, you know, like it definitely depends. I'm not like feeling ecstatic when I'm listening to music that I would like cry myself to sleep to in 2012. Like that's not really that's not really what it is. I feel like I have a semi-obsession with time travel through music. I could spend hours and hours probably just like going back and listening to music that I grew up with and like watching the music videos and just like fantasizing about how it was a different time, even though it was only 10 years ago. And it's crazy how fast things change, and I feel like there's nothing more powerful than recognizing that like the exact moment and time and space that you're in right now is fleeting. Like it is absolutely fleeting. It's going and then it's gone, you know? And I go back and forth between recognizing how beautiful that is, but also, I don't know. It's extremely bittersweet. And then I start thinking about how all of the things that bring me so much joy right now, all of the things that I connect to so deeply at the moment, and like everything that I feel like aligns with who I am today, how I will probably look back in 5 more years, 10 more years and be like, that's nostalgic to me now. I can think of an artist, like take it out of the back of my head and then know where I was at that point in my life and like what I was dealing with and what I was going through. And I feel like that's why music is so powerful in that sense, especially if it is something that kind of brought you joy or soothes your pain or got you through something difficult or made you feel better when you were already feeling great. Yeah, I love it and I hate it. I love it so much and I hate it even more. I hate that I'm obsessed with it. I hate that I constantly feel the need to, well, it's not a need, it's like an indulgence. Like I'm indulging in the past through the music that I listen to. And even though like when I look back at my actual life at the different points in time, it may not have been great. My life itself has not been great, but maybe it's, you know, the music that I was listening to during those times that was that slice of greatness for me, that was that slice of like joy or hope or peace, or, you know, if anything could nourish me or make me feel safe at that moment, it was that. Like it was the music that I was listening to. I feel like I am so deeply moved by music, and it's had such a huge impact on my life in a way that nothing else really has. As cheesy as it sounds, but the 2 tattoos I have are inspired by songs, and songs that I am no longer actually moved by. Not that I'm just like, oh, I'm not moved by them at all, but it's like at these points in my life, they were so powerful to me and they had so much significance to me that I was like, ink on my skin. But I don't regret it, because it's like I look at it and I am like reminded of that significance, and I am reminded of a time in my life where something felt so powerful to me. Yeah, I don't know. I just, my biggest thought, like my biggest question is like, is it just me? Like, does anyone else? I don't know. I feel like that's something that people might do every once in a big blue moon, right? Once every 5 years, they're just like listening to a song. But I don't know, like I do this so much. I probably do it every few months. And it doesn't have to be like ancient. It can be music from like 2 years ago, but 2 years ago still feels like a completely different lifetime, and it feels like I was a completely different person. So it's just kind of addictive to like go back and like revert to this time and space and either rejoice or kind of wallow a little bit in what you've gained and what you've lost and what has changed. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now because this is 10 minutes long and I don't want to deal with that. I have been thinking about this and it's been driving me insane, and I was like, oh, I'll do it when I get home, but I can't. Whenever I have an idea, like I literally have to like right then and there get it out, or it's not gonna be what it was meant to be. I have to do it then and there, which probably makes a lot of sense as to why I filmed so many videos in my car. If I could film my videos in the shower, they probably would be, because that's when you get, you know, shower thoughts are always great, always creative. Okay, signing off before I get blinded by the sun in my eyes. It was a nice ramble. See ya.